What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream from Scalar Learning. Good morning. And today we are tackling more ISEE middle level math questions from ISEEPracticeTest.com, my favorite resource for practice material for the middle level ISEE, actually all levels of the ISEE. I think it's an amazing resource, and it has an assortment of categorized problems. I use it with all my tutoring clients, and I think it's great. So today we're going to be walking through test number 6, the final test from practice test from ISEEPracticeTest.com, and we're going to be doing the the math achievement section. So I've already done the quantitative reasoning section. We're doing the math achievement section in real time, so 40 minutes to do 47 questions. Again, this is a no calculator test. And the idea here is you're going to watch me solve it in real time so you can see strategies to implement that actually work, that you can actually, you'll watch me do it in real time. And while I do it, I'm going to be explaining it along the way. I'm not just solving it. I'll be talking through the entire process. And that's it. Without further ado, let's do it. We are going to take it online, as I recommend. And think for a number of reasons, which I can talk about at the end of the test. And we're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin. All right. If 20x plus 4 equals 64, isolate, right? Subtract 4, boom, 20x equals 60. And then we divide both sides by 20, and we get x equals 3. Boom. Done. Next, what's the difference between these two? We just subtract them. Okay, so let's set it up. And we got 6, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 8, 4, 11, 7, 14 is 6, 0, and 4,067. Next. The figure shown below shows the first 4 elements of a pattern. What is the 5th element? So you can see it's just stacking a triangle, so it should be 5 triangles, and the next one should be going like that, like this one, I believe. Yep, that's it. This would be 6. They don't want the 6th. They said the 5th element. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just got to be careful. Sometimes they could actually ask for the 6th element. If AB equals AC, what is the perimeter of ABC? So that means this side is also 4. So it's 4, 2, and then 4. That's perimeter. We add them up. So 4 plus 2 plus 4 is just 10. Do that mentally. It's totally fine. The area of each grid square is 10 inches. What's the area of the shaded region? Well, each one of these is 10. We can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares, each one at 10, so it's 60 square inches. That's it. Don't need to do anything else. Next, A equals this times this. This is a formula for area of a trapezoid. Actually, what is A if, okay, we just plug in. H equals 7, A equals 4, and B equals 10 over 2. Now we just do the order of operations and solve. 4 plus 10 is 14 over 2. 14 over 2 is just 7. 7 times 7 is 49. Next. Which answer choice is a prime number? Prime number can only be divided by itself and 1, and that is 41, because 9 is divisible by 3, 27 is divisible by 3 and 9, 63 is divisible by 7, 9, 3, etc. 8. The perimeter of a rectangular tabletop is 16 feet. If the width is 3, what is the length? I can do this without really any algebra. It's 3 and 3. This is 6. That means these two must add up to 10. Since it's rectangular and they must be equal, the other sides, the length must be 5. 5, 5, 3, 3, and that's 16. Next, what is the value of the expression here? Okay, we got 1.1, 3.94, 0.6, 2.5, 0, 0, 0. 4, 10, 21, carry the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8.14. Be really careful on these to make sure you just are good with that arithmetic. One little mistake, and you have to redo the whole thing, or, don't want to make a careless mistake. Those are pretty easy points to grab. The value of angle X in triangle ABC is, all right, all angles in a triangle add up to 180. If this is 60 and that's 90, 60 and 90, those total up to 150. So this remaining angle whatever plus, so now we can take those two angles and subtract them from 150, and we get 30. So this remaining angle has to be 30 degrees. 30 plus 60 plus 90 is 180. Okay. Next, which of the following is double the total amount of rainfall for the 5-day period shown on the chart? Is double the total amount of rainfall. Okay, so we just add these up. I'll do this mentally. 5, 8, 14, 15, 16, 17, plus 8 is 25, so double that would be 50. Yeah, that's it. Okay, next, the scale of a blueprint shows that 4 inches, I'm immediately setting this up into a ratio. 4 inches equals 18 feet of a building. I already knew it was going to be like this. If a room on the blueprint is 6 inches long, then how long is the room of the building in feet? It doesn't matter that one's in inches and the other's in feet. For this, it's totally fine. You can leave them in their separate units. Now we got a ratio. We cross multiply 6 times 18. 60 plus 48 is 108 equals 4 times x. And then isolate. We divide both sides by 4. And this is 25, 26, 27. But if you're not sure, do the long division. 2, 8, and then it's 7. Okay, next. We've got which answer choice is divisible by 3. The rule for divisibility by 3, add the digits, and if that sum is divisible by 3, then you know it's divisible by 3. This is 3 plus 7 plus 3 is 10. It's not divisible by 3. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 3 is 5, plus 4 is 9. That's divisible by 3. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 6 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Not divisible by 3. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 5 is 9, plus 8 is 17, plus 2 is 19. Not divisible by 3. Next, which of the answer is 50? So to calculate 15% of 350, we make it 0.15, multiply it by 350. And I get 0, 5, carry the 2, 15, 17. And then we got 0, 5, and 3. And we got 0, 5, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we got 2 decimals in the multiplication. So we go 2 decimals to the left, and it's 52.50. Next, 15. 8 pineapples cost the same as 12 apples. Let's set up a little equation. 8 pineapples cost the same as 12 apples. If the price of 1 pineapple is $2, so 16 is 8 pineapples. Oh, sorry. The price of 1 apple is $2. It's the same as 8 pineapples. So 8 pineapples now we know equals $24. What is the price of 1 pineapple? Oops. So we're just isolating P here, so we just divide both sides by 8, and we get price of a pineapple is $3. And that makes sense, right? 3 times 8 is 24. 2 times 12 is 24. So we say $3. Next, 3.75 hours is how many minutes less than 5 hours? First of all, it's 1.25 hours less. Like, we can just do 5 minus 3.75. And then we want to know 1.25 hours is how many minutes. We just multiply this by 60, and we get 30, 12, 13, 14, 15. Carry the 1, 6, 7, 1, 2, and we get 75 minutes less. Triangle XYZ has been transformed to produce image XYZ with the little things here. So this has been flipped up. So what type of transformation was performed? It's a reflection over the x-axis. Can you see how it's like sort of this would be a mirror, or almost like looking in a lake, and here's the other side, and it's whoosh, just a reflection. It's not a slide because it's clearly been moved. It's not a rotation about the origin. And maybe that's the closest one, but it wouldn't look like that. And then translation 4 units down, no. We have to account for the orientation change. Erica conducted a survey to find out how many of her classmates preferred ice cream, frozen yogurt, or milkshakes. The results of the survey are shown in the circle graph below. Which data corresponds to the sample of classmates? Okay, so let's do some easy things. We know that whatever the number for milkshakes is, it has to be 10% of the total. Let's just start there. This 1 is not 10% of 24, so this is out. 3 is not 10% of, this would be 21, 23, 26. That's out. 1 would definitely not work. 3, wait, should be, it's this one. 3 is 30% of 3 plus 6 is 9 plus 21 is 30. So 3 out of 30. That's why I chose 10, because that's easy. I know it's just take away a 0. So 3 out of 30 is 10%. 6 out of 20 out of 30 is also 20% because it's double this. And then 21 out of 30, it's got to be 70. So this is the only one that works. Okay, next. Which express follows. Okay, so here we just do order of operations to evaluate. And I'll show you a fast way to do this. 50, 43 plus 67 over 2. So this is 110, 50 times 110 over 2. Divide this by 2 before multiplying. Actually, let's divide this one by 2. It doesn't matter. This becomes 55. We don't divide both because it's one big multiplication string. So then it's 50 times 55. Don't worry about the 0. Just add a 0. Start multiplying the 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2. 25, 27. It's 27.50. A rental car company charges $50 per day to rent a vehicle and a $14 service charge. $50 per day plus a service charge. They're asking about an equation with T is the number of days. So it's 50T plus 14. That's it. Let's make sure I didn't rush there. Hold on. 50T plus 14. Yeah. Okay, next. 21. Jim is painting his new table. The table is rectangular with dimensions 12 by 8. If it takes him 15 minutes to paint 3 square feet, that would be 3 square feet. How many minutes will it take him to paint the tabletop? So 3 minutes to paint 15 square feet, X minutes to paint the total, which is 8 times 12, which is 96. And then let's reduce this to 1/5, and then let's cross multiply. 5x equals 96. Divide both sides by 5. 96 divided by 5 is 9. Bring down a 0, and it's 2. So 19.2 minutes. Whoa, wait, what? Oh, shoot. 19. What am I doing? 3 feet. 19. Wait. It takes him, how many minutes will it take him to paint the top? Oh, wait, what? 96. Uh-oh. This doesn't make sense. Hold on, 12 feet by 8 feet, that's 96. If it takes him 15. Oh, I did this backwards. Oh, shoot, I set up the proportion wrong. Hold on. Let's undo this. Yeah. Let's just clear it. It's 3 feet for 15 minutes equals 96 feet for X minutes. I minutes and feet squared. That's the right way. Let's actually reduce this first 1/5. Now it makes sense. 1 times X is X. 5 times 96 equals 450 plus 30 is 480. And that's it, 480 minutes. Whoops. Okay, there we go. Keep going. Next, in the figure shown, 7 diamonds equals 3 squares. If 1 square is 14, what is the value of 1 diamond? 7 diamonds equals 3 squares. So 7 diamonds equals 3 times 14, because one of those. So 7 diamonds equals 42. So 1 diamond has to equal 6, because we just divide both sides by 7. It's basic algebra, so one of these is 6. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, and that's 42. Next, the number of representatives in the U.S. House of Representatives for the 9 westernmost states are shown in the graph. What is the difference between the mean and the median of the 9 representatives? Okay, so the median is going to be pretty easy because we have, hold on. Okay, so let's calculate the total. 2, 10, 19, 29, 34, 87, 88, 89, 90. Okay, so it's 90 total reps. So the median is going to be in the middle. So if there's 90, it's going to be between the 45th and 46th value. It's an even number, so you're going to be in between. And that's going to occur here in California. So, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. 53. Wait, I have to think about this for a second. So, number of representatives and the median. Oh, I get it. No. I did that wrong. There's just 9 different states. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we just rank these values in order, those 9 values, and we just find the middle. So it's here. I'll write it in order. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 4, 4, 5, 5, 9, 10, 53. 9, 10, 53. Okay. And the middle is 4. So median is 4. Now let's calculate the mean. So we add them all up. 3, 5, 9, 13, 18, 27, 37, 80, 90, and then it's 90 divided by 9, which is 10. So it's 10 is the mean, and the difference of the two is 10 minus 4, which is 6. Whew, long problem. Let's see how we're doing time-wise. Okay, 25 minutes for about 23 questions. Okay. The box and whisker plot shown below represents test scores from Miss Martian's class. What is the range of the data? The range for box and whiskers from this top value here all the way down here, which is 55. So 55 to 100. 100 minus 55 is 45. Just reading that box and whisker plot. Okay, so what is the value of G? We just have to divide these fractions, or mixed numbers, excuse me. First, I need to turn anytime multiplication, division, whatever, turn it into improper. So 3 times 9 is 27, plus 7 is 34 over 9. And this is 1 times 5 is 5, plus 3 is 8/5. Now we do keep, change, flip. Keep, change, and flip. Flip it to multiplication. Let's divide these 2 by 2. We get 4 and 17. Now let's multiply across, and I get 85 on top, 36 on the bottom. Now let's convert back to a mixed number is what they've done. I can tell in the answers. So it's like 85. 36 goes into 85 twice. The remainder of 13. So it's 2 and 13 36ths. Next, the circumference of a circle is 8 pi. What is the area of the circle? So circumference is 2 pi r. So the formula 2 pi r, and they're saying the circumference is 8 pi. Divide both sides by pi because we want to get the radius before we can get the area. And then 2 times radius equals 8, divide by 2, divide by 2. Radius equals 4. If the radius equals 4, now the area is pi r squared. Plug this in for radius. Pi times 4 squared, which is 16 pi. The polygon shown below is made of perpendicular line segments. What is the area of this guy? Okay, so look, I want to do it like this. Okay, so we've got this. So this is for, we want the area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it up into little rectangles and squares and stuff. So a line across there, a line up here. Okay, so then I know that the dimensions of this are 4. The dimensions of this, since this is 4, 6, that's 10. So this part is 10, so this remainder must be 6, right? 6 plus 4 is 16 all the way across. So this little one is 6 times 4, which is 24. This guy is, again, just a distance of 10, and this is 10 here. So this one is 10 times 10, which is 100. And this last one is, this is 14. Hold on. This is all the way across is 18. And this is 10, so this distance here must be 8. You see, because 4 plus 14 is 18 all the way up, take away 10 coming up to here, and so this is 8 by 6, which is 48. So the total area is 24 plus 48 plus 100, which is 2, 7, and 172. Okay, the scatter plot below shows the relationship between the powers to weight ratio and of a car's engine divided by the weight of a car in pounds. And 0 to 60 time number takes the car to go from 0 to 60. Okay, according to the scatter plot, if a sports car with 300 horsepower engine, power of the car's engine, horsepower divided by weight. So horsepower, 300 divided by weight, which is 1,000. This is a ratio of, it's 3/10, which is 0.3. It's the best estimate of its predicted 0 to 60 times. So we take 0.3, and it's right there, 3 seconds. So this is just a complicated one in terms of deciphering all the information and then applying it to the graph. But once you do that, it's easy. Of the 30% of customers who ordered to-go lunch, 5/6 of them. So this is taking a fraction of a percentage. So we can take 5/6 of 30%, or 30 hundredths. Let's make it 3/10. Multiply, and we get 15 over 60. Oops. Both can be divided by 15. Get 1/4. Okay, next, what is the best estimate for the expression 36,000 divided by? Okay, so I'm gonna estimate, and I'm gonna make this. I'll do it like this: 36, because I don't want to actually do the math. I'm gonna round that down up to 30 and round that down to 36. Round this down to 30 and round this up to 36. So first of all, we can do some cool things if I do it like this and write it this way. This 0 can cancel out, divide top and bottom by 10, and then divide the top and bottom by 36, because watch this. This becomes 1, this becomes 1. So it really becomes 100 over 3, which is about 33. 33.3, which is closest to 30. That's pretty good, I guess. Let me just think. Hold on. 30 times 36. 18, 9 is 10. So it's 1,080 times 30. It's about right. Okay. It's a pretty rough estimate. Next, the measure of the interior angle of a regular polygon found. Okay, so giving us a formula. I'm not reading too much about it. What is the measure of each interior angle in a regular octagon? N is the number of sides in this formula. An octagon has 8 sides. So all I'm going to do is plug in plug in 8 for N times 180 over 8. 8 minus 2 is 6 times 180 over 8. 6 times 180, multiply it out if you need to, or you can do it mentally. Like if you're really comfortable, it's 1,080 divided by 8 is 1, 3, and 5. 135. Okay, next is 32, which is what is the slope of this guy? All right. So it's 2x minus 5y equals negative 20. We want to put it into slope-intercept form. So which just means I'm going to isolate y. Subtract 2x from both sides. Negative 5y equals negative 2x minus 20, and then divide everything by negative 5. And then it's y equals, negatives cancel out, 2/5 x plus 4. Slope-intercept form, the slope is whatever value is multiplying the x, and that's it. But it has to be in slope-intercept form before you make that assertion. What's the value of y in the following? Look, anytime we have a proportion like this or a ratio of numbers, watch this. We simply cross-multiply. Y over y plus n. I'm going to reduce this to 5/8 first and then cross multiply. That's 8 times y equals 5 times y plus 9. Distribute. Y plus 5 times 9 is 45. Subtract 5y, subtract 5y. And we get 3y equals 45. Divide by 3. And we get y equals 15. Positive 15. Next, the surface area of a cube, excuse me, is 54. So look, a cube has 6 sides. So they're saying, let me do this as fast as I can. They're saying the total surface area is 6 sides. A cube, all the faces are equal. So just divide that by 4. 54 divided by 6 is 9. So the surface area of every side is 9, which means it's a 3 by 3 cube, right? 3 times 3 is 9. What's the volume of the cube? The volume is length times width times height. 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. Okay. 35. The scatter plot below shows how many minutes it takes Ciara to drive to work based on how many stops she makes at traffic lights. According to the scatter plot, how many stops would Ciara expect to make if her drive to work took her 22 hours? Look, this is really a line of best fit question. Expect to make. So we're thinking a lot here. Let me show you what a line of best fit will probably look like. Okay. Something like this, I'd say. Something along those lines, right? Kind of in the middle of the data. That one's a little outlier, I think. So I'm not too worried about it. But 22, I'm feeling 7. 6 would be way too low. right? That would look like a weird line of best fit. And 9 would be up here, way too high. So I'm feeling like 7 is a pretty reasonable estimate. Okay, next, the formula y equals 9x plus blah, blah, blah can be used to find y, the total cost based on x number of items. What does 9 represent in the formula? Okay, look, 9 is your slope, and this means that for every additional item, one item, it costs an additional $9. It's the slope. When for every 5 items added to the delivery total cost, why 5? For every item added, I don't know where they get the 5. Oh, because they're saying from that number. Yeah, no, that's the y-intercept. That's just meaning 0 items, you're paying $5 as a standard additional cost. It's your starting cost, no matter what. For every added item, total cost of delivery increases by 9. Yeah. Okay, next 37. This month, Bennett's electric bill increased by 2.25. Increased by 2.25. That's 225. Increased by 2.25 times the electric bill the previous month. By what percent did it increase? Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. So it was 100, and then it's multiplied by 2.25, which means it becomes 225. But this is actually not a 225% increase. It's 125 because now they're changing the language. By what percent did his bill increase? So it's like if it increased by 50%, you would take half of you take 50% of this was 50 and then add it on. Just like this, if it's going to 225, we take 125% of this, which is 125, and add it, and then we get 225. So it's actually, it's very tricky language that they're using for that problem. On day 1, Mike had $20. On day 1, Mike had $20. Each day after that, he saved 3. So then he has 23, 26, right? How much money did he have after the 4th day? 29. That's it. $29. Okay, we've got 9 problems left, 14 minutes. Triangle JKL is similar, so that means their sides are proportionate when they say similar, and the angles are equal. What is the value of x? So I can set up a nice proportion. 60 to x, so this side to this side, JKL, XYZ, is proportionate to 90 over 75. Corresponding sides, right? This to this is this to this. Let's reduce this. Divide both by 15. This is 5, and this is 6. Now let's cross multiply. 5 times 60 is 300, equals 6x. Divide both sides by 6. X equals 50. All right, next. Which of the answers equivalent to this equation? Y equals 4x minus 1. All right, these can be tricky because we're looking. So I'm going to show you some shortcuts to kind of weed through this on the fly. Let's see. Okay, this one, x is isolated. This doesn't make sense because in order to isolate x, I'd have to divide everything by 4. So there's no way I'd be multiplying y. This one doesn't make sense because if I'd isolate y, right? Each one of these we can actually isolate y and see if it looks like this. But, oh, no. Let's just isolate x because all these are x isolated, and that'll give us our answer. That's the fastest way. So isolate x, and I get y plus 1 equals 4x, and then we divide by 4, and this is it. X equals y plus 1 over 4. That is the answer. Next. A florist is planning flower arrangements for a party. The profit can be calculated by estimating the cost and subtracting it from the revenue. Okay, so revenue minus cost equals profit is what they're saying. The costs are estimated between 600, 700, let's say 650. There are expected between 40 and 50 flower arrangements at the party, let's say 45. And the florist charges 35 per flower arrangement, so 35 times 45. What is the expected profit? So we're going to, this is going to be the revenue value, and then we'll subtract the cost. So 25, 22, 0, 15, carry the 1, 12, 13, 5, 7, 5, 1. So 1, 5, 7, 5 is the revenue minus 650, the cost equals 5 to 15 is 9. 925. Here we go. A over this equals, which is the following must be true. Hold on. They're saying A over 9 equals B over 8. The A's and the 9's look the same. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I already know what they're getting at. They just want to know, this is the means extreme. This is the idea that we can cross multiply and get an equivalent statement. This means 8A equals 9B, and that's this one. X minus Y, X minus 6 plus blah, blah, blah. What is X minus Y? Okay, watch this. Here's the deal. 2 variables, 1 equation. We cannot solve for these individual variables. So if you try and do that, you're falling into a trap. Instead, just simplify. Negative 6 plus 9 is 3. X plus 3 equals Y. Let's just get X and Y on the same side. So first I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. X equals Y minus 3. And then I'm going to subtract Y. And watch this. I already have X minus Y now isolated, and that's all they're asking. X minus Y equals negative 3. So I didn't need to find the values in this case of X and Y. And actually, we can't. We just know the relationship. Okay, next. Jody made the table shown to record the cumulative amount of money she spent on lunch each week for 4 weeks. Coin table, how much did Jody spend on lunch during week 2 and 3? So it's cumulative, so it's adding every time. So week 2, she spent 18 plus what is 34? That's 16. And then week 3, she spent 15. So it's 31. Three questions, 9 minutes. Good, really good on time here. Parallelogram ABCD is similar. So they're similar means, again, the sides are proportionate. In this case, the angles are also going to be equal. What is the ratio of a side of parallelogram ABCD to the corresponding side of WXYZ? Very important here. Let me show you something. It's a slightly more complicated. Oh, wait. Hold on. Here we go. It's a slightly more complicated problem than the other one because they're not displayed very nicely. And what I mean is now we have to look at the language and the way that they present these. They're saying A, B, C, D is similar to WXYZ. So AB is similar to WX. So AB, I'll put this in red, is similar to WX. And then BC is similar to XY. BC is similar to XY. You see how it's all out of whack? And then BC is similar to XY. CD is similar to YZ. And AD obviously is WZ. Okay, so we got the color coding. Now we want a ratio, and we need to pick two sides that are corresponding of the same color. The only two ones that both have numbers is the blues. So 6 to 15. So they want ABCD, smaller one, to the bigger one, 15. Divide both these by 3, and it's 2 to 5. It's a 2 to 5 ratio. 46. The letters peeps were written on 5 tiles shown below. Tiles are placed in 2 hats, and 2 tiles are chosen at random. Which of the following answer choices are complementary events? Meaning, complementary means the two events cover the entire universe of total potential choices. So we can either choose a P, an E, or an S, right? So let's see which events give us those options of choosing P, E, or S. Choosing P on the first, S on the second. That's not complementary because we don't cover E. Choosing an E first, E second, no. Choosing an S first, then choosing an P or an E second. That seems to cover everything because now we're covering S, E, or P. Choosing P first, then choosing an E. Oh, hold on 1 second. Oh, it's this one. It's C. Because choosing a P first, there's 2 P's to choose from. So in this case, I could choose this P, and then I can either choose S or E, so then I can only cover these 3. I'm excluding that other P. In this one, since there's only one S, I'm choosing this S for sure. Then they're saying a P or an E. It could be this P or this P or this E or this E. So I'm covering all the different outcomes. Hence, those are complementary events, covering together covering the entire universe of outcomes. Okay, which polygon best describes a quadrilateral with 4 congruent sides? First of all, you got to know what congruent means. Congruent means basically just think of it as equal, okay? And what they're describing, since I have some time, I'll draw it out. What they're describing is a rhombus that has 4 equal sides. It looks like a diamond. Now, you might get tripped up because they're like, wait a minute, what about a square? Square is on that list. Square also has 4 congruent sides. But the thing is about a square is the definition of a square is not just 4 congruent sides, it's 4 congruent sides and 4 right angles. They didn't say it has 4 right angles, so that's too great of a limitation. A kite looks like literally a kite. Now, technically, a rhombus and a square actually are both kites. Kite, the definition is that the 2 adjacent sides, like that, 2 sets of adjacent sides are congruent. This is equal to this is equal to this. So not all 4 sides of a kite have to be equal. And then a rectangle, of course, we know not all the sides are equal. Opposite sides are equal, right? But that's it. Not 4 congruent sides, so it's a rhombus. Okay, we are done. We got 5 minutes left. I'm not going to check my work. We're just going to go for it and see how I did. If I got anything wrong, I'll review it right now. Hopefully not. Yo, shoot, I got one wrong. Okay, let's see which one I got wrong. 37. Here we go. Oh, it was 225. I was so sure. So, increase by 2 1/4 times. I disagree with this answer. I disagree with this. I think this is actually incorrect because, okay, if something increases by 2 1/4 times, right, you're basically multiplying it by 2.25. So, for example, like that example I gave, which is 100, we would 2.25 times 100 is 225. Now, you wouldn't say it's a 200. It didn't increase by 225% because it's the same way you would like. The same way, if I remember, I gave that example. If it goes from 100 to 150, okay, by what percent did this increase? We would take the change, which is 50, and then we'd see 50 is what percent of 100, and that's obviously 50%. So in this case, if it's increasing by if it's going up 2 1/4 times, right? So 2.25 times that original bill, we're multiplying 2.25 times 100. Oh. I get it. I misread this. It didn't say it became 2.25. This is really tricky. It didn't say it became 2.25. It said it increased. It actually was simpler than I thought. I read too much into it because it says increased twice. So if it increased, we'd say it's 2.25, so 225. It increased by that, so it becomes 325, right? 325. So it, in fact, did increase by 225%. All right, so I actually totally agree. That is correct. I misread that the first time. All right, let me just see if there are any questions here. What's up, Carlos? Hey, you're very welcome for making this video. Again, this is ISEE stuff, so only if you're preparing for that middle level ISEE. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please click that like button. And if you want to see more from the Scalar Learning channel, make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best of luck in your test prep process. And I'll see you all in the next video. Take it easy.